Warning, this episode of Unsolved Mysteries contains scenes that may be disturbing for some of our viewers and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. On January 14th, 2021, the EW Scripts Company announced that it would discontinue Qubo, Ion Plus, and other affiliated Ion channels. But on February 27th, 2021, a video surfaced on YouTube showing a recording of the Qubo shutdown. But it wasn't your normal shutdown. This video contained a lot of disturbing scenes that would instantly give a lot of children trauma. The main question is, who was the creator behind the video and why did it create one of the most talked about shutdown hoaxes of all time? Find out all of this and more on the very first episode of Unsolved Mysteries. Before we talk about the video, let's go over a brief history of Qubo. Qubo was launched on NBC on September 9th, 2006 as a weekend programming block replacing Discovery Kids on NBC. On September 15th, Qubo shifted to a daytime block on Ion Television, which only aired on Friday afternoons. Then on January 8th, 2007, the official Qubo 24-hour channel was born. The channel's programming over the years contained shows from companies like Nelvana, Scholastic, DreamWorks Animation, WildBrain, Chorus Entertainment, and more. Over time, the channel would evolve over time with new shows being added to the lineup, such as Grossology, Timothy Goes to School, and Meteor and the Mighty Monster Trucks. The channel would go on for 14 years until it was announced that Qubo was shutting down. Some people were very disappointed that this was happening, but the reason it was shutting down was because back in September 2020, the EW Scripts Company bought Ion Media and wanted to remove Qubo from its lineup because they wanted to focus on different things and it didn't have enough room for a children's channel. So they decided to discontinue Qubo on February 28, 2021. But the day before they discontinued Qubo on all networks, a YouTube creator called SplatKid802 created a video that showed a recording of what he thinks was the Qubo shutdown. And let's just say, it wasn't a shutdown. Let's talk about it. When Qubo was shutting down on a lot of Ion stations, there was a video on YouTube that says, "The final minutes of Qubo on the air, 2/27/2021. To the people that were first watching this video, they thought it was going to be a wholesome but heart-wrenching farewell video, but instead, the creator of the video decided to take it up a notch, by a lot. The video starts with regular programming from Qubo, with a promo for the show just in time showing. Then it cut to a little segment called Super Geek Heroes, where heroes would explain the meanings of colors, mixing with other colors to make the new color. After that, the screen cuts to black, and then when it comes back on, we see all the characters from Qubo's programming, even the shows that Qubo lost the rights to way back when, such as VeggieTales, JJ the Jet Plane, and more. Some text appears on the screen that says, "Save Qubo now, 248-434-5508, and scrolling text also appears saying, "Your favorite Qubo characters need your help. At 11:59 p.m. Eastern, Qubo will cease operations unless $2,500 can be raised by viewers like you. Call 248-434-5508 and donate now." People were confused on why Qubo was asking for money from everyone, and they were also confused about why the background was blood red with black clouds and why the music was very familiar. But we'll talk about that later. There was even a timer counting down from 4 minutes and 16 seconds. People waited after a while, thinking what was going to happen next, when suddenly, gunshots could be heard, and they find out that all the characters' heads were getting blown off, exposing their blood and skull. People were horrified and wanted to close out the video, but they kept watching. One by one, the characters were getting killed by gunshots, and it goes on for most of the video. When the timer finally reaches 0 and they kill off Inspector Gadget, all that's left of Qubo is a black silhouette of the logo, which was extra creepy to everyone, even me. When I first watched this video, I was also surprised and scared. Why would Splat Kid do such a thing? Qubo would never do that to anybody. And even if this was real, the EW Scripts company would have gotten sued and had to pay a hefty fine for threatening the safety of all children nationwide. Anyway, when the timer runs out and all the characters are dead, it cuts to a black screen. Then a few seconds later, scrolling text appears. It says, "Due to the negligence and selflessness of our viewers, Qubo is forced to cease broadcasting your favorite programs as of 11:59 p.m. Eastern, February 27th, 2021. We have brought you quality programming for both children and families alike since launching in 2006 and plan to expand our network in the coming decade. Because of this closure, it will not be happening. We at Qubo and EW Scripts Company expected better from our viewers, and they have failed us. This is your fault." After a while, the screen fades to black, and we see the Qubo logo again with text that says 2006-2021. Thanks for nothing, before fading to black once more. Now that is the overview of the video. Now let's point out some of the mistakes that were made in the video. Be advised, some of these examples are points that I said earlier, but please don't take that for granted. We only have 15 facts, so with all that said, let's go. 1. The idea of making a disturbing sequence of a channel shutdown, especially on a children's network, is just mentally insane. 2. As they contain characters from shows that aired on Qubo, shows like VeggieTales, Rupert, My Friend Rabbit, The Magic School Bus Rides Again, PB Longstocking, Postman Pat, and its spin-off Guess with Jess, Inspector Gadget, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and etc. Seeing all of them get murdered is obviously very disturbing, shocking, and also traumatizing for you and your childhood. 3. The sound effects, which are gunshots and gun cocking, kinda make no sense because the characters' faces look like they were burnt or ripped apart. A bullet wouldn't do that much damage to their face or head. Even if it was a shotgun, surely a shot that blasts all of their face apart would also damage the skull underneath. 4. Most of the characters are from shows that Qubo lost rights to years ago, since this video was in 2021, so it might be for nostalgic reasons, but viewers who were new to Qubo at the time and or have never done any research on the network might get confused. It also includes Bob the Tomato from VeggieTales, a show that Qubo lost rights to in 2009. 5. Viewers really don't even want to see them get shot or tortured like that, even if they hate the characters. JJ the Jet Plane, for instance, although he may look ugly and terrifying, especially to children, he never actually did anything to deserve this. 6. Moreover, characters like Bob the Tomato, Ollie the Submarine, and JJ the Jet Plane aren't animals, but when they get shot, their skulls are shown, which makes no sense. Tomatoes, jet planes, and submarines don't have bones. 7. Not to mention, Bob, Ollie, and JJ are 9 and 6, respectively, so them getting shot is just completely unrealistic. 8. The music used for the screen, Final Hours from The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, would be seen as plagiarism and might get Qubo sued, boring another hole in the legitimacy of the screen. 9. The phone number to rescue Qubo, 248-434-5508, as evidenced by people who dial this number, is a rickroll. 10. The final messages after the deaths of the characters were not only creepy and upsetting, but also insulting to Qubo viewers because it blames them, saying, "This is your fault," and saying that they were selfish and neglectful to Qubo for not saving it, and says, "Thanks for nothing" at the end. Hey, your phone number to save Qubo is just a rickroll. What did you expect? 11. The point where it asked for a donation of $2,500 to save the network, a channel like Qubo would never ask, let alone beg for money, let alone $2,500, especially for television network standards. 12. Many people pointed out this scene in the footage filmed by SplatKid802 was very fake because Qubo would never do any of the reasons listed above, and Qubo's final footage uploaded by other people are different told stories. Qubo was already shut down early on cable TV providers and was completely shut down during an airing of Inspector Gadget in which there was only a blank screen for hours. It was even explained by Super Keegan 9100 on the Qubo wiki that this disturbing footage was fake. But some of the video's comments were saying that they had seen this shutdown on live television. 13. The red cloudy void seen in the background is a default plugin for Adobe Premiere Pro. 14. Also, the uploader says that he only has a tablet, while no one with only a tablet could do a video this well made. To add more salt to the wound, the uploader was later revealed to be a sock puppet account. And finally, 15. The entire scenario is basically a 4-minute long sequence of attempted jump scares. And there you have it, a look at the infamous Qubo Shutdown hoax. To this day, SplatKid thinks that the video is real, but in actuality, it's all fake. For information on future Unsolved Mysteries episodes, like and subscribe and turn on notifications. From all of us at Unsolved Mysteries, my name is Clifford, and we'll see you next time.